Two-dimensional arrays. Now we have already discussed that why we use arrays. So the link of one-dimensional arrays I have provided in the description box. You can check one-dimensional arrays in case of any doubt. So we know that why do we use arrays? The basic arrays, that is the one-dimensional array, when we say, so the basic purpose of using an arrays is to be able to store a list of values. When we want to store a large number of values together using a single variable, then we use arrays. So if I want to store the marks of 20 students, I will use an array named as marks, and if it has a size of 20 students, so I will declare the size. So I will say int marks 20. So now this array can store the marks of all the 20 students together at the same time. So whenever we want to store the list of values, we use arrays. But what about the cases where we have, or the situations where we need to store a table of values, right? There is a table and we want to store the table of values. What will we do in that case? Let's see an example. Suppose we have this table which shows the value of sales of 3 items by 4 sales girls. There are 3 items named as item 1, or you can call them products. Product 1, item 1, item 2 and item 3. So these are the 3 items which are sold by 4 different sales girls. So sale girl 1, sales girl 2, sales girl 3 and sales girl 4. So there are 4 sales girls who are selling 3 items. Item 1, item 2, item 3. So sales girl 1 sells 310 quantities of item 1. Then she sells 275 quantity of item 2 and 365 quantity of item 3. Then coming to sales girls 2, she sells 210 quantities of the same item 1, 190 quantity of the same item 2 and 325 quantity of the same item 3. Then coming on to sales girl 3, she sells 405 item 1. The number of item 1s she sold or she sells is 405. Then 235 is the quantity sold by her for item 2 and 240 is the quantity sold for item 3. Then moving on to sales girl 4. The number of items 1 sold by her is 260. Number of item 2 sold by her is 300 and the number of item 3 sold by her is 380, right? Now this is a table. This is a two-dimensional table. The first dimension is this and the second dimension is this. Now if we want to store all this information together in C, so how are we going to do this? This will be done with the help of a two-dimensional array, right? This is not just a list of values, but this is a table of values. So when I'm talking about the list of values, it has only one dimension. But when I'm talking about a table of values, it has two dimensions, which is the row of the table and the columns of the table. So when we have to represent the table of values, then we use two-dimensional arrays. Now we can see that in total the table consists of 12 values, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So in total we have 12 values in the table, and there are 3 values in each line. Line number 1, which we call row 1, has 3 values. Then row 2 has 3 values. Then row 3 has 3 values. Then row 4 has 4 values, right? So in total 3 values in each row. 3 values in each row, and in total how many rows? 4 rows. So in total how many values do we have? We have 12 values. Now each row, this is the row. The horizontal line is called the row. So each row is representing the value of sales by a particular sales girl. And this column, this vertical line is called the column, and each column represents the value of sales for a particular item. Like for item 1, the value of sales are these. For item 2, the value of sales are these. And for item 3, the value of sales are these, right? So these are the columns and these are the rows, right? So if we had to represent this thing in mathematics, we would have done it using a matrix. In mathematics, the same thing would have been represented using a matrix, wherein we would have used two subscripts. Say for example, the name of the matrix is if V, then we would have used two subscripts V, I and J, right? So V here denotes the entire matrix, and I refers to the ith row and J refers to the jth column. So basically I is representing the rows here and J is representing the columns here. So always the first subscript represents the rows and the second subscript represents the columns, right? Now this same table in case of C, this matrix is representation is in mathematics, but the same representation in C would be done with the help of an array. What kind of array? Two-dimensional array. Okay, so the same thing if we represent in C, we will represent it using a two-dimensional array. Alright, so how will we represent this table using arrays in C? Say for example, if we give the name V to the array. If the name of the array is V, then the number of rows, how many rows are there in this array? 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we have 4 rows. So the first dimension represents the rows. Then how many columns do we have? We have 1, 2 and 3 columns. So 3 here because the second dimension represents the number of columns. So this is how you represent a table using arrays in C. So this first dimension will always represent the number of rows that are present in the array, and the second dimension will always represent the number of columns that are present in the array, and this is the name of the array, right? So if I talk about the declaration, how are you going to declare a two-dimensional array in C? You give the data type. Obviously, every array will have a data type, whether it is a one-dimensional array or it is a two-dimensional array. So the first thing that you have to mention is the data type to which that array belongs. Then you have to give the name of the array. You give the name of the array, then you give the row size. The first dimension would represent the total number of rows or the row size of the array, and the second dimension would represent the total number of columns or the column size of the array, and then finish it with a semicolon. Right, so this is how you declare a two-dimensional array in C. So just like in one-dimensional arrays, the indexing always starts with 0. So considering the same table, like I had 3 columns like this. I had 3 columns here. So the values in these columns were like this. So this is the first column. Then the second column has values like this. Then the third column has values like this. So how are these actually represented? Now this is the column and these are the columns and these are the rows, right? So the array, the indexing begins like this. The total number of rows starts from the first row and the first column. So since the indexing begins like from 0, so what we will do, how is this going to be represented? The 0th row, this is the 0th row and this is the 0th column of the 0th row. Then within the same row, see, I'm talking about the 0th row right now. This is the row section. So this is the 0th row. So this is the 0th column of the 0th row. Then moving on, this is the 0th row only and this is the first column of the 0th row. Then this is the 0th row and this is the second column of the 0th row. Then moving on to the first row. Okay, so here in the first row again we have 3 columns. So first row and 0th column, then first row and first column, then first row and second column. Okay. Then second row, moving on to the second row, the second row and the 0th column. Since this is the first column of the second row and we will start the indexing from 0, so the second row, 0th column. Then second row, first column. Then second row, second column. Okay, so now coming on to the last row of this table, that is the third row. Again in the third row, since this is the first column, so we say the third row and the 0th column, right? Then we say the third row and the first column, and then we say the third row and the second column. So this is how you represent the data elements in a two-dimensional array. So the horizontal side is representing the rows and the vertical side is representing the columns. So this is the section of the row and this is the section of the columns. Right? So this is the 0th column, this is the first column, and this is the second column for all the rows. So this is how the elements are represented in a two-dimensional array. So in a way I can say that this is the representation of a two-dimensional array, or this is how you represent elements in a two-dimensional array. Right, so this was all about two-dimensional arrays, why the two-dimensional arrays are required, and how do you represent the total number of rows and columns of a table using a two-dimensional array, and then how you represent the elements of that table using a two-dimensional array. I hope this thing is clear. Now moving on, we have seen how we declare a two-dimensional array. Now we will see how we initialize a two-dimensional array. That is how we give initial values to a two-dimensional array. So just like you initialize a one-dimensional array, the two-dimensional arrays are also initialized in the similar manner. So say for example you have a table whose data type is integer. So you will say int, name of the array is table. Then the total number of rows in that array are 2 and the total number of columns in that array are 3. And you want to initialize the table, then how will you do this? You will do it like this. There are two ways to do this. Please see it carefully. Okay, so basically I am talking about 2 rows and 3 columns, right? So that means if this is how, these are the values that I have given to this table. What are the 2 rows? The 2 rows are, and the 2 columns are, so these are the 2 rows and these are the 3 columns of this table. So that means the first row and the first element is 0, the first row and the second element is 0, the first row and the third element is 0. Then again coming on to the second row, the second row and the first element is 1, the second row and the second element is 1, and the second row the third element is 1. So this is how you initialize a two-dimensional array. One more method to do the same thing is that you can do the same initialization differently, like this, int table 2 and 3. Now this appears to be a little more organized and systematic. For the rows you use different set of parentheses, and for the columns, for the first row you use different set of parentheses, and for the second row you use different set of parentheses. So this becomes little more organized and neat. So you know this is the first row and this is the second row, and these are the columns of the first row and the columns of the second row. So these are two different mechanisms by which you can initialize an array. Now there is one more method by which you can do the same. It's only The only difference is in the placement of the parenthesis. You can place the parenthesis like this. Rest everything is same. So this is one another method by which you can initialize a two-dimensional array. Both these methods are same. The only difference is in the placement of parenthesis. That means where you have placed the parenthesis. So these two methods are more systematic and organized mechanisms of initializing an array. Okay, one thing that you need to keep in mind is that while you are initializing a two-dimensional array, that means at the time of declaration of the array, if you are initializing the values also, then at that point of time you do not need to mention the total number of rows. This dimension can be left blank, but only if you are initializing it at the time of declaration. If you are just declaring the array and not initializing it, then in that case you have to mention the total number of rows. But if you are declaring as well as initializing it at the same time, then you do not need to give the size of the rows, or then you do not need to give the first dimension. You simply need to give the total number of columns and then you can initialize it. But mind it, the number of columns have to be mentioned. It is necessary to give this dimension, that is the number of columns, but it is not necessary to give this dimension, that is the number of rows, if and only if you are initializing it at the same time. But right, so this thing has to be kept in mind. So these are the different ways by which you can initialize an array and declare an array. For initializations, I told you 3 different ways, and also that if you are only declaring the array and not initializing it, then you have to mention both the rows and columns. But in case you are initializing it at the time of declaration itself, then you do not need to mention the number of rows. If you wish, you can, but then there is no compulsion on giving the dimension of the number of rows or the size of the number of rows. I'm sorry, then if in case you are initializing the array at the time of declaration, then you do not need to give the first dimension. That means you do not need to give the size of the number of rows. You only need to give the size of the number of columns. So basically it is not compulsory. Though if you wish to give the size of the number of rows, you can do it like we've done it here, or we have done it here. But if you do not wish to, then there is no compulsion to give the size of the number of rows in case of a two-dimensional array if you are initializing it at the time of declaration. But even then it is compulsory to give the size of the number of columns. So this is how you declare a two-dimensional array and then initialize it. So I hope the concept of two-dimensional arrays is clear.